This funny little doohickey is known as the Land Defense GHM9G, and it is super unique with all due respect. I like this gun, I love Airsoft, and I know nothing about 3D printing, which is exactly why I bought a 3D printer. When I first picked up the Land Defense GHM9G, I was thrilled. Not only did it take Glock mags, but it was also extremely cheap, and a GBB. But it's naked. I scrolled around online at some parts, and I realized they do have a couple, and sometimes they're in stock and some aren't, and they're also a little on the pricey side. Needless to say, if there were child labor laws on 3D printing, I would be arrested, because I have been hard at work. And by hard at work, I mean I have just waited and waited and waited while my printer got to work. Basically, I came up with an idea for a little side series while I continue to review awesome things that people send me and stuff that I pick up that I want to show you, which is going to be kitting the living crud out of almost every one of my Airsoft replicas with whatever 3D printed parts that I could find to show you some of the cool opportunities. And while I do so, every single one of those parts will be linked in the description. I don't make them, I just print them. You can go ahead and download the files from the wonderful creators who put them out. So this is the 3D printed Lambda Defense GHM9G build kit, or possibilities, with a 3D printer. And on today's episode, we're going to take a look at two parts, one of which I installed before I even thought about it, and one of which that I have not installed just yet. The 3D printed charging handle extension, because you know I love a chub nub, and a new grip, because I just wanted something that was a little bit beefier and didn't have this thing that won't seem to stay closed no matter what I do. It just keeps popping out. For a first time 3D printing, I think these prints came out phenomenal. There is minimal lines that you can see and minimal impurities. I'm definitely going to wind up painting some of these down in the future, but I printed this in ASA plastic, which is supposedly much stronger and much more heat resistant and won't warp or anything like that in the hot sun or if you leave it in the car, which sometimes you do with replicas. When you're at a game, you leave one, you take a different one out. And then this one, which came out even cooler, again, printed with ASA, this is a charging handle, and you can see some impurities, but it's still knurled, and it feels great. This is just friction fitted on, and I can never figure out the correct way to get this out. It kind of just comes out. It's actually just friction fitted on, and I just lightly tapped it on with a rubber mallet, and kept this just down on the ground. And it's extremely hard to get off now, but I don't want it to come off because it just looks great. That was super simple. I just jammed that back in place. Cool. And we'll take a look at the grip. The grip should be a super simple install. Like I said, I'm going to wind up painting this. This is a quick one though. And it should fit nicely because the Lambda Defense GHM9G is just AR grip spec, so it should just be a single screw down at the base. I don't know if you could see that screw in there. It's just an Allen bolt. So we're just going to go ahead and get this driver down in place, and we should just begin to unscrew it until it comes out, and then this should just pull right off, and don't lose that bolt. Now, as a comparison to the both of them, see how that just won't stay in? Not a fan of that. Okay, so as a comparison to the both of them, obviously the printed one is much thicker. It's got a little bit less grip on it, but I'm actually going to spray paint this in a pickup truck bed liner, or even just like a black paint, and I might throw some like sand texturing on it just so it does have some grip to it. But it's also a little on the thicker side, which is nice. It fits in the hand nice and smooth. I do like how it has this like thumb ridge up here also. This guy didn't have a thumb ridge, it's just totally smooth. And then it mimics the GHM9G where the AR has that beaver tail. And then, of course, the spot where the index finger and the pinky finger catch. I guess your middle finger and your pinky finger, because this will be your trigger finger. And we just have to make sure that this nut stays in place. And I've always found the easiest way to do this is to just put the screw on the end of the driver, toss it through the hole, and then if you just fit the grip up where it's supposed to go, the screw will just find its place. It's not too difficult. Probably want to put a little Loctite on that if you're going to install it and uninstall it a ton of times, but I definitely am going to wind up painting this at the end. But we want to keep them unpainted for now so that you can see all the printed parts just while watching in the future with all the future upgrades that we're going to be doing. It sits all right. There's a little bit of a space back here, a little bit of a space here. Overall, though, it's extremely sturdy, and it just feels much beefier. It feels like my hand fits around that thing so much better. And then, of course, the charging handle sticks out a little further, and it's thicker. It's not just a thin post that the GHM9 has, it's thicker, and I do like that thickness. And there's no wobble to it at all either. It is so unbelievably tight on there. But I do like that. I do like that a lot. Like I said, there's links to these files in the description in case you want to go check out the page that creates them. This BB's just falling. I guess I gotta adjust the hop on this. Just a quick little video though. Again, I got a printer and I'm super excited to experiment with it and see what's possible. And I'm going to keep throwing on a bunch of different upgrades for this, cosmetic upgrades and whatnot that you're going to see in the future, because we need a stock, we need a new grip, we need a longer barrel, we're gonna need a riser. I've got so many plans, magwell flares, you name it. We're gonna do it, and it's just a cool way to showcase what's possible and do things as cheap as possible, because you don't always need to buy the $80 handguard. You can, I guess if you have a printer or a friend with a printer, you can print it for like nothing, and they come out looking super nice. So we'll take a look at these parts later. Thanks for watching. I hope you're excited for the series. And I'm gonna just kind of pop these in every now and again as we're going through different videos, but these will all be thrown in a playlist together so you can watch them all back to back if you want. So for now, catch you in the next adventure. Peace.